mothers stay. Mothers stay. Mothers don't abandon their children. It's very unnatural when a mother abandons her children. It's very unnatural and it's demonic when that happens, right? In Isaiah 49 verse 15, this is what God says. Can a mother forget the baby at her breast and have no compassion on the child she has born? Though she may forget, it's almost like God is saying it's an exception. I will not forget you. And again, he uses the example of a mother. So elsewhere, he talks about how, hey, in the same way that a mother comforts, I will comfort you. He's now saying, in the same way that a mother cannot forget her child, I can't forget you. I can't forget you. You know that in the case of special needs children, there's a high divorce rate amongst the parents, largely because of fathers leaving due to the stress. Because it becomes very stressful when you've got that type of situation, can be very stressful, right? And a lot of men then struggle in their marriage, struggle with the pressures of my wife. I feel she's giving the child so much attention. I can't cope with this. I want something easier. And they leave. But what do the mothers do? Mothers stay. I see many women returning to work from maternity leave and struggling with having to leave their child at home, right? With many men, it's like, hey, I'm getting cabin fever here. I'm glad the paternity leave is short. I'm out of here. I need to get back to work, all right? I believe that God is taking us to a place where we have a staying anointing, where we are able to stay focused and not abandon those people God has called us to take care of. You know, despite all of this, today the statistics, especially here in South Africa, they're alarming. When you look at the number of grandparents, especially grandmothers, who are actually looking after their grandchildren. Because there are a lot of moms today, sometimes because they are single moms and can't go to work and also look after their children, the children are being looked after by grandparents. There are many cases, sadly, of irresponsible mothers who just use the grandmother now of their children, right? Have one baby with this guy, oh, grandma, look after the child. Have another baby with this other guy, oh, grandma, look after the child. And these grandmothers are old and they're supposed to be resting, but they're just doing so much work for the kids, right? And sometimes it becomes this thing of, hey, don't worry, but I'll look after you and I'll pay for this and this and this, so you do your work doing the mothering. There's a reason you're the mother of those children. There's a reason God has called you to be their mother. There's something you carry that's for that child. Don't be deceived by the enemy thinking that, oh, I've got nothing to give, right? The mothering ends up continuing right till their old age with a lot of these grandmothers. And often it's because of the irresponsibility of their children. Mothers stay. But in South Africa, there are a lot of children who are being abandoned today by their parents, by their mothers. According to Stats SA, did you know that in South Africa, about 1/5, that's 21.3% of children aged 17 years and less did not live with their parents? It may also surprise you to hear that this is against the international norm where the majority of children under 18 live with both their parents, right? Now, I know that obviously, I know in the States, there are a lot of absent fathers, and in many other countries also, right? It's been found that in South Africa, children are more often not co-resident with their biological parents. And this is mainly due to labor migration of parents, as well as low marital rates of mothers, okay? Many unmarried mothers. Consequently, many children are raised by grandparents or other relatives, especially in our rural areas, in our townships. We're seeing it a lot, right? It's a problem. God is calling us to stay at our posts. If you want to understand the spiritual dimension of this, mothers, don't abandon your children. Saints, don't abandon your post. Don't abandon your post. Shepherds, don't abandon the flock. Don't abandon the assignment that God has given you. Don't abandon those that God has called you to feed. They need you. The enemy's strategy is to get us to think we're not needed and we don't make a difference. Even if they don't appreciate you, keep doing what God has called you to do.